Of course, E3 has been cancelled this year, alongside everything in the year 2020. This just really has not been a good year. However, since the cancellation of E3, everyone's been wondering when all these big video game announcements will be happening, as E3 is normally the venue in which everything falls into place. And today, Square Enix has made us aware of their own plans in terms of announcing games in the absence of E3. When asked how they would approach announcing these games in the absence of E3, during a stockholders meeting held on June 24th, Square Enix replied, quote, "We would normally announce new games at E3, yes. We had planned to have a press conference as a replacement event, but were unable to do so since assets were not complete. We'll be announcing new titles individually as the timing permits. Several will debut around July to August." Now, using my psychic powers, I can tell that a lot of you probably are hoping to see Final Fantasy VII Remake 2, or whatever they call it. Personally, I think that it's way too soon for us to see FF7R2. I don't think we'll see the announcement for the next game until next year at the earliest. And by that time, the timed exclusivity deal will be up, allowing them to sell Final Fantasy VII Remake for other platforms. And so by then, I think they'll really be pushing the PC and the Xbox versions of the game, not to mention getting an enhanced version of this first game for PlayStation 5, which is also something bound to happen next year. And I think all of the marketing for that has to come long before they ever start talking about FF7R2, meaning that I don't think we'll see Game 2 until 2021 at the very earliest. Now, with that being said, every time there is a reveal of the next generation of PlayStation hardware, we normally see the next mainline Final Fantasy game. Because of this ongoing trend, it was assumed that we would get some sort of Final Fantasy 16 teaser alongside the reveal of the PlayStation 5. And honestly, that might still be somewhere in the works. And that could potentially be one of these new titles, as well as new IP, maybe a new Kingdom Hearts game. And the announcement of all of those titles is pretty possible. And that's not all for today's news. Square also announced that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles will have a Lite version, which is of course completely free, and is probably one of the coolest things that the company has done in a long time. Essentially, as long as one person has the paid version of the game, any of your friends can download the Lite version and play alongside you, meaning that pretty much everybody who buys the game and has at least one friend will be able to experience the multiplayer. And considering that the game is also coming to iOS, Android, and Switch, you can literally just get your friends together and whatever platforms they have, they can grab their phones, they can grab their Switch, everyone can have their own screen and just play and enjoy the game. It's the type of multiplayer experience that I find is sorely missing, and so I'm really excited for Crystal Chronicles Remastered. And the last bit of JRPG news for you today doesn't actually come from Square Enix, but instead from Namco Bandai. The brand new Tales game, Tales of Arise, is being built on Unreal Engine 4 and is aiming to be a tremendous step up for the series. I was actually super excited to get my hands on this one, but it seems like we'll be waiting a little bit longer. And by a little bit longer, I mean a lot of bit longer. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the team has been doing their best to effectively adapt to working remote. However, there are many hurdles involved with this, as well as them striving to improve the game overall. Thus, they've made the sad but highly respectable choice to delay the game until they can put out the highest quality product. This means that the game is no longer coming out this year of 2020, adding to the long list of reasons of why this year is complete garbage. We also currently do not have a new release date for Tales of Arise. We just know that it will be, quote, beyond 2020. But with all of that said, Ultima, I want to hear from you. What do you think are the big games that Square will be announcing during July and August? Are you excited for Crystal Chronicles? And are you saddened by the news on Tales of Arise? Subscribe, click the bell icon, and let me know in the comments below. And if you've been enjoying my content, be sure to check out the Patreon for the Night Sky Prince, where all these videos are made possible thanks to people like Camilla. So if the presence of this channel means a lot to you, be sure to check the link in the description below. Shout out to Camilla and the rest of the Ultima community.